I'm delighted to be here today at Vatulaulau Sanatan School in Ba to officially open this new classroom building as part of our Cyclone Winston rehabilitation program, so that your students can put the trauma of the cyclone behind them and get back to the business of learning. Today is the second day of my second tour of schools that we have successfully upgraded and rebuilt following the destruction caused by Tropical Cyclone Winston last year, the strongest cyclone to ever make landfall in our hemisphere. This afternoon, I'm opening this classroom block at Vatulaulau Sanatan School, and I did the same earlier today at Korunumbu Sangam School, and of course the whole day yesterday. I keep on saying that none of these school projects are not simple rebuilds. These schools have all been reconstructed to a far higher standard, worthy of the students who rely on them and more resilient to the severe effects of climate change. And this reopening of Vatulaulau Sanatan School represents an investment of over $989,000 by my government, close to $1 million, to bring it to a climate resilient level of construction. Ba also saw the full brunt of the destructive force of Cyclone Winston last year, and the students of Vatulaulau Sanatan School, along with countless other young people throughout our islands, were on the front line of the brutal winds and torrential rains that devastated vast stretches of Fiji. So I know I don't need to remind anyone here of the heartbreak and misery that cyclone brought to our shores. Because your community experienced that firsthand. We knew it would take time to rebuild all the homes, all the schools and other infrastructures that were washed away, because we knew we need to get this right on the first go. We knew we had to build back better, because building to the same standard as before would spell disaster for Fiji when the next cyclone reached our shores. Because the experts have already warned us that storms like Winston are only going to become more frequent and more severe due to the catastrophic effects of climate change. The reality is there are considerable work to be done to prepare ourselves for what is to come. My government isn't taking the easy road. We aren't hurrying up to put up the schools we are not hurrying to put up schools that only stand for a year or for a single term in office. We are building a Fiji that will last, schools that will stand for generations, homes that can be depended on to keep our people sheltered, and infrastructure that can be relied upon in times of crisis. We are making steady and unrelenting progress towards that goal, and we have a clear game plan for building back Fiji better than it was. Still, even though we know storms like Winston are only going to get worse, many do not share our vision for a more resilient Fiji. They only think short term and want us to rush this process along, but that would compromise the safety and security of ordinary Fijians. This is not real responsible, and that is not true leadership. I would like to acknowledge our dedicated staff with the construction and implementation of the unit of the Ministry of Economy. We've also borrowed to complement our own allocation toward the rebuild, and I'd like to thank the World Bank and ADB for partnering with us in our help to help us in our rebuilding effort. We are committed to quality construction and getting the best possible returns on every dollar we spend. And we understand that our investment today will protect Fijian taxpayers from the far higher cost of having to rebuild in the future. Progress is being made, real progress, not temporary fixes, and I'm very proud that as part of that effort, we've completed the constructions on this new classroom building at the Vatulaulau Sanatan School, making your school more resilient to severe weather and more capable of serving your students. Today, your community truly has something to celebrate. Our work across Fiji is far from finished, and it will not stop until every affected Fijian, family and household, is able to have their own day of celebration and begin putting the memory of Winston's devastation behind them. My government will not rest until that day arrives. Vinakabaleu, and I thank you all. Okay, David.
She's matching the shoe.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, David. I'm going to open this classroom up. Who's got the key? It's open?
Yes.
Okay.
And another one.
The drawings, okay, everything there. You've got one copy, Minister of Economy has a copy, and the Minister of Education has a copy. So look after this. It never used to be a drawing before of the school. It now has, you have now a drawing of